Greetings, people.
Hey
Welcome to the
everyone.
Soul Grinder. We're back to US time on the request of our good friend A-RAB Money here, who did
Yeah, you
request it.
guys, we missed you guys, man. We gotta make room for the Western Hemisphere.
Yep. I did consider like when I change the time that I make it like
Loss of
uh
viewership from the Western
well
viewers.
I did consider that, and I thought like every other week I'd still post one during this time, but the viewership was so good on the Tuesday stream that I'm like,
Yeah, but
okay.
you've been doing it Wednesday now. You got to go back to Tuesday because I noticed the views have been dropped during Wednesday instead of Tuesday.
That is fair enough. Tuesday
Tuesday
was
might
a
actually be better for your time zone.
it is, but what happens is that my sleep schedule has been flopping, and two weeks in a row, Tuesday has been bad for me.
Hmm.
Like it's the time where I sleep.
Do you plan on going back to Tuesday?
Yeah, it is
Okay.
Tuesday, but if I'm gonna change the date, I'll post. That's how it goes. I don't want the thing to be a fixed thing where I have to do it, and if I have to do it, I perform badly. I want to be at a presentable shape whenever I come to the stream, so I can have a good conversation.
Right.
But yeah, every now and then I'm gonna make a US based stream, so you can hop in. You are missed in the comments, Arab Money. Like
Yeah,
usually if
it's
you're not on the thing, you keep the comments busy, so we can actually interact with the
yeah.
fucking thing.
Work does take up a lot of my time. And then I haven't really had time to watch the previous streams to catch up on what's been happening with the channel, so I'm a bit
Well,
out
that's
of
what
touch.
That's what the clips are for, right? Like the
Right.
clips are
I've
back,
watched a
and
couple of the clips. I can watch the clips, but sitting through the whole stream, I don't have the time for anymore now that I'm
yep,
working.
that's exactly why I made the clips. Is because if somebody doesn't have the time to actually sit through the whole stream and can't show live, well, I'll clip what I consider the most interesting and just put it over there. Um,
Footnotes. Yeah, it helps.
yep, it does. It does. They don't get much viewership, but it's there for the people who want it. Um,
I'm grateful.
yep.
It
Now,
works
with
for me.
that said, I'm interested how the virus has been going, how the virus have been treating you all in the U.S., and I want to make a few comparison notes between our country and your country. So
Sure. So
how is it going?
just to start, the country in general is, well, of course, everyone knows about the toilet paper. Toilet
Yes,
paper is being
yes, we
sold out
do.
everywhere, because people don't know how to wash their ass. They don't use water. They don't use water over here. So
Yeah, one of the perks of having Arabian background, I assume, is that you adopted some of our sanitary
yeah,
traditions.
yep, the garden pail with the water that sits by
Yep.
the toilet.
Oh,
But
we have dedicated hoses here with like sprinklers and everything. Like
my
it's
dad got one installed in his toilet, but I never use it because it's just I grew up the American way of doing things. You wipe
yes.
toilet paper and you're done.
Do it. Oh, okay. No, no. In our case, traveling sucks because of this. Because you have to go everywhere
Yeah.
with a water bottle, and it's
I'm,
sometimes
I'm
not enough.
I'm gonna probably have end up using it though, just because Arabs are hairy in general, and toilet paper isn't enough for hairy people. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna say anymore.
Fair
You
enough.
let your imagination do the rest. Let's move on. I'll leave it at that.
But how is it when like in our country it's like almost a lockdown? Malls have been closed. Everybody
Yeah,
got it. Like
malls are closed. Movie theaters are closed. Basically, public gathering places for entertainment and commerce are closed. Places like grocery stores and Walmart and Best Buy, they're still open, but they have shorter hours. Like where I work, hours are cut down by a couple hours, so we close earlier. And besides
right.
that, specifically for my state, Minnesota, restaurants are closed. You can only do takeout and delivery. So no dine-in for restaurants.
For our place,
Gas is cheaper though. Gas is
gas
cheap
is
right now.
cheaper. That's interesting. Yeah, because nobody's moving around. Yeah, that makes
Gas is
sense.
cheap. Plane tickets are cheap. Net streaming, there's a lot of deals and sales going on for like stuff for people to do at home. You know, streaming services are giving out a bunch of movies. A bunch of movies that were going to be released in movie theaters are being released early digitally, and the 2 new Disney movies, Disney's releasing them early so people can watch them at home.
What about what is it called? Like in our place, public gathering places have been locked down as well. Like if you wanna meet up with your friends, you can't do that, or they encourage you not to do that.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, you can leave the house. It's just like, you know, malls are probably going to be closed. You know, libraries, things like that.
Then it is pretty similar.
Yeah.
I heard Trump closed down the immigration line, like all down south.
Yeah, he's taking care of China.
Yes,
the Chinese virus.
What is up with that? Like, why is everybody like upset that it's called the Chinese virus? It's just accurate. Right?
It is. It's because it's from. Well, one thing I've noticed is, you know, a lot of Asian people from that globe, not just like traditional Asian, like not just like Chinese, Japanese, but like that entire thing. So like even Arabs too, to some extent, they like to dramatic in the sense that like they try to like get offended easily so that they can like be part this, that they can say, hey, look, we're minorities too, because people do racist things to us too. See, they're offending us, guys, because they did something racist. It's like no one's really coming after any of you guys like that. You know, people are still gonna buy. You know.
Well, it's different in America. I'm still a bit confused because it's a matter of accuracy. So if you call it, let's not call it the Chinese virus. Let's call it the Wuhan virus, like we called the thing the Spanish flu. Why was that not a problem and this one a problem? That's where it originated, so that's what we'll call it.
That's exactly what I said. It's the response of it's wanting special treatment. In a sense, it's complicated. I shouldn't leave it at that. I'm trying to elaborate, but I don't have the knowledge and the words to properly articulate what I'm trying to say. But I know what I've said is leading to something that's accurate. So like I've noticed this trend of.
So you think everybody's like it's a competition on who's more victimized, because the more victimized you are, the more you should be treated better.
Yeah.
And get virtue points, if you will. So everybody's trying to call out victim whenever they can.
Yeah.
It's odd though, because like being a victim, it's better for me.
They don't want to be a victim, but they want to be treated the way victims are treated. The sympathy, the exceptions made, the extra leeway to get away with things that you wouldn't normally get away with if you weren't a victim, quote unquote. I'm not very good at articulating things. I need to read more to get more vocabulary. One thing I'm starting to realize is that the amount of words you know matters. Like, you know, if you don't know a lot of words, it's very difficult.
It's not just knowing the words. It's actually also knowing how the words are stringed together to formulate the idea you want. So the way it goes is, and welcome Babushka.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
No.
Yeah, where did we stop? What were you talking about?
Yeah, so the way forms are formulated, that's why reading books is awesome, because when you watch videos that are well articulated, they give you the strings of words that you can randomly attach in your own personal style and re-express them. So when I told you about victim psychology and all that, it was basically me watching a couple of videos on the ideology of victimhood and then representing it here as a question. I already know the answer, but
I'm gonna post a link in the group chat. So it's first come, first serve. There's only going to be 4 people in here. So we'll let one person in the group chat I'm in, and we'll see. You guys aren't hearing the notification sound that's coming from the group I'm in, are you?
We're not. No.
The notification. Okay.
Well, somebody wants to jump in. Feel free.
All right.
We have one more spot.
I put the link in the chat. I'll let you choose who gets in because you can kick people out as you please. So.
Yep. First come, first serve. They'll stay if they're not contributing. I can kick them out and get another person in.
All right.
I have full control. I am the god. That's what makes StreamYard way better than fucking Google Hangout. If somebody jumps in, I have to allow them to jump in. Otherwise, they can't talk. So we can't have raids like what happened last time during the anime law era, where people can just find a way to get the link, and then suddenly we have 3 people that we don't want in the stream, and we have to keep going. Fully professional fucking thing. I'm looking at how to stream games using this platform, because if I can do that, I don't have to use like OBS, which is a fucking nightmare for me.
I think OBS is like the best choice for you so far. Nothing beats it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Hello there. Hello
What's
there,
up?
William.
Hey.
How's it going, guys?
Okay, who are you? Where are you from? And what's going on right now in your life?
Me, I'm William Lovely. I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada. Honestly, I'm just quarantining myself, not doing much.
You look pretty cozy right now with your robe and
actually-
everything. You look like in quarantine mode. Yep.
Yeah, we can actually jump into that. We were just talking about like how our countries are handling the coronavirus right now, with like what people are doing, how the government's handling. So tell us a bit about what Canada's doing. How's
Oh,
Canada
actually,
handling
like, yeah, Saskatchewan, like my province, is actually just today. I woke up this morning. I checked the news, and all of the entertainment places, all the bars, the movies, all that
Same
stuff.
thing here. Yep, same thing
It's
here.
all closed. The only things that are open are supermarkets.
How about restaurants?
Mythos.
They're closed in my state.
A few of them.
Yeah.
Like I haven't really tried to
Oh,
look
what the
up
hell?
because I haven't really tried to look it up because I'm not trying to eat at a restaurant during these times. But I don't know. Is that AJ?
I do not see anything. I see darkness.
Yeah.
I see someone driving.
Are we streaming in the culture?
No, we're streaming on YouTube. So the link to the stream is in the culture.
Okay,
So like, people
I'm gonna
can watch
bump
the
it.
stream.
Yeah.
If you want to post it too, you can do that.
Yeah, put it in the chat on stream.
Oh, where this is going on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's crazy.
How long? Only 13 minutes.
Hey, can I get some of the money?
It's not
No,
monetized.
we're
We
not,
don't do
don't worry
monetized.
about
we're not
it.
monetized. We're not that big yet.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
send you guys the link of the stream itself in the private chat over here. You can send it to your friends, and if
Yeah.
you guys want to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna copy it and bump it a few places here.
So yeah, okay. So it seems like everybody is having the same regular response. Everything is shut down. But the
Yeah.
question is, how are you dealing with it? It's been 7 days since lockdown for us here in Kuwait, and for me, I've been loving it because I've been playing video games all day, and I think that's an advantage us video game nerds have. But how are you guys?
I'm honestly,
I've
I'm
been drinking a lot of
a
liquor.
little careless. I'm like, like the last 3 days, I've been drinking so much.
I have a question.
It's crazy. What?
Yeah.
I have a question. Yo, William, where are you from?
I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada.
Okay, I'm from Toronto.
Okay.
Oh, we got two people
I can
from
hear,
Canada.
I can hear your accent.
When are we gonna link up, fam?
Anytime, like after the corona shit. I'm not trying to get sick.
Of
right
course.
Yeah, actually, that's another question I was going to ask too. How many of you guys are still working during the coronavirus right now?
now. No,
I'm not working.
Anyone work from home?
I've been unemployed for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
not
been-
proud
I've
of
been
it.
on
I'm not
paid
proud
leave.
of
I've been
it.
out of work
but-
for the
How does that work in Canada? Do you get to
Jesus
collect
Christ,
anything from the
I'm
government for that or no?
Not really.
No?
I'm self-employed, so I don't know if I'm gonna.
Oh, what do you
get
do?
Get out of here! You
I'm
selling
a
drugs,
truck
fam?
I drive a truck.
Self-employed, huh?
Can you get closer to the mic, Bankai, please? Because I can barely hear you.
Oh, my bad. I'm a truck
Speaking
driver.
of audio,
so
is
I'm
my mic
self-employed.
pretty all right or
So
no?
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh,
I'm
you're a
gonna be
truck
getting
driver,
from the
but
government. Except the
But-
400, 600 they were promising to add on top of the taxes.
Wait, you're a Bankai, you're a truck driver?
Yeah, I'm an AZ driver. I go all the way to the States.
What kind of freight do you pull? What kind of freight do you bring around?
Dry van.
Do you got any shit that fell off the truck? You know what I'm saying? You got some stuff that you stole from the box?
Oh, never. But one thing, I was working for this company not too long ago, and they were caught with $12 million worth of drugs.
Damn.
I'm talking cocaine and heroin, fam.
Yeah.
Some crazy shit.
Yeah,
I ended up getting stopped in Arizona. They searched the trailer. They couldn't find anything, you know?
Yeah.
So they let
How
me
long
go.
have you been a truck driver?
I've been a truck driver for the past 4 months. I got my license not too long ago, you know? Before that, I was
Nice.
doing machine operating.
I've heard you guys make good money. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, we make decent
Maybe,
money.
yeah.
But before Trump, it used to be a little bit more, you know? Now it's for trips that we used to do for 2,500, now we do it for 1,700, 1,800.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I mean, hey, that's a skilled practice. You know, you gotta do training for that.
Yeah,
you know, people.
the one of the reasons I went into it was because a lot of the truck drivers are retiring. You know, they're older gentlemen.
Same thing with trades: carpenting, plumbing, electrical, all that. A lot of trades.
A lot of
trades, and
they don't tend to attract younger people.
well, it's gaining traction now because people keep talking about it on social media.
That's one of the things I tell all my friends. You know, get into trading. A lot of the older people are retiring.
It's better than getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and not being able to get a job when you graduate.
Yeah, not only that, but I don't know about Canada, but I mean I don't know about the States, but in Canada.
What's up, bro?
But in Canada, they get paid very well.
Who's
Who's this Harry Babushka guy?
Basu!
Yeah. Actually, never got
Basu,
you
what
asked
do you
me
like?
for my name, but who are you guys?
Yeah. So, Vasu, introduce yourself for those who are watching.
I remember that guy.
Different audience.
Creator of The Culture, a famous place. If you haven't joined it yet, please join. Most people in here are from there.
Hang on, let me link the
You're
culture.
promoting the culture,
Yeah, I'm
like
linking the
that.
culture right now.
Yep, go ahead. Just
Real shit,
straight
real
through the comments over there. Yep.
So Basu, we were just talking about how we're handling coronavirus right now. So how's it happening in New York? What's going on with New York and coronavirus?
I mean, it's chill. People are still in the street, just not as much. You know, obviously there's everything is takeout, and
Yep, same thing over here.
Running.
Same thing in Minnesota. All restaurants are closed. How about just general commerce, like entertainment, all that? Public gathering?
they're all shut down here.
Yeah.
Casinos shut down. The Cineplex is shut down.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything to do with like a lot of people gathering is just lock off.
Oh, Bankai, you live in Toronto, right?
Yeah,
Also, filling the gaps about Kuwait. Some restaurants are open, but they have car services, the way they have
no, they have
workers.
takeouts. They have takeouts.
Yeah, they have takeouts,
You
and
just can't
some
go in
restaurants.
there and sit down, you know.
Yeah, some restaurants, some big restaurants are still open, but they serve a small number of customers. Like the max number is 6 customers or 7 customers, but they are open from 6 till 5:30 because we will start to have a curfew at 6 p.m. until people are just home and no one will be able to go out.
I have a question.
Sure.
Do you guys think that the coronavirus is overhyped? Do you think that
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's blown out of
Hold on, everyone.
Nobody knows yet. Nobody knows.
Hold
Like,
on.
it
We'll do it one by one. We'll do it one by one.
really
Let's start with A-RAB.
contagious, but it's not dangerous.
Let's start with A-RAB, one by one.
Okay.
A-RAB, go ahead. What do you think? Is the coronavirus overhyped?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say is it's not something to be taken lightly. It is definitely a serious situation, but what I will also say is that reacting with fear is never a good idea. Fear is a natural response, and it's there for a reason. It warns you and tells you that you should be cautious. But people tend to make an emotional response is never a good idea, in the sense that you're going to spend so much money to stock up on toilet paper and water and all this food, and then the coronavirus is going to blow over by the time the summer's done, and then you're going to have all this stuff you wasted money on that's just going to go bad, or you don't know what to do with.
Okay.
All
That
right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What are your predictions of how long it's going to last?
Okay, one by one. Questions one by one. Let's
Okay.
let that be the next question. Babushka, go ahead.
I would say this with an explanation. Coronavirus didn't reach its peak in terms of evolution. It's still an epidemic. It needs from 1 to 2 weeks to reach its peak, which is gonna be a step closer to us for fighting a vaccine. They are already fighting a vaccine, so no one should be worried. And about the virus itself, it's the biggest virus in terms of diameter and size, so you don't have to worry about it in order for it to be contagious. So it doesn't, get inside your masks or fly through the air or anything. It just sticks to surfaces. So I'm not worried about it that much.
Yeah, no, I agree. With that.
Okay, BossMan, go ahead.
Ask a question or something.
No. What your thoughts on the topic?
No, is it overhyped?
I don't think it's. I mean, if they don't quarantine people, it's gonna spread like way more. And if you just suddenly send people back to school, obviously, it's just gonna repeat the same cycle and shit. So you have to do it. You have to hold them back.
When you're done, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah, I want to get next.
What's stressing me out about it is that like I've actually been sick a little bit lately and shit. And like if I sneeze near someone or like if I cough, you're gonna just get a shitload of reactions that are really stressful. And I want to get tested for corona. Like corona just to shut people up, to be like, yo, I don't fucking got corona. I'm not that sick. I don't have anything serious. I just have like a congested chest slightly. But like I have a friend in Toronto. I wanted to go visit him and shit. And I'm probably not even gonna go just because of the corona shit, and mostly because
yeah, it's not.
Yeah, like
it's not really a good time.
No, I personally wanted to go, but my biggest issue too is like if I stay over at his place, his mom sees that I'm sick or something, slightly, she'll be stressed out or something. Like
I can.
Yeah,
Family, even family is looking at each other funny. I gotta. When I come home from work, my stepmom freaks out. Oh my god, wash your hands! Your shoes, yeah, Hassan.
I just want to get tested. I don't know how motherfuckers get tested. I heard they have to be really, really sick to get tested.
Well, you have to like check with your health provider, and then they have to approve it, and then you have to get a test kit, and it's complicated. Honestly, what I was gonna bring up is Italy is getting hit really hard right now because of its older population. One thing that surprised me is that Japan hasn't really been hit really hard despite hits.
Yeah,
despite the size of its older
too,
population,
right?
or at least no one's talking about it if it is happening. Like I'm surprised nothing's happened to Japan.
No, it makes
That's
sense
crazy, 'cause,
because
like, a lot of
the
their
sanitary
population
culture is built
elderly, right?
in to Japan, so they are generally clean people. So again, it's if you wash your
That
hands.
was the fourth most hit country or something like that, or fifth most hit country.
It's right now it's Italy. Italy is the most hit country.
No, fourth most hit. I said
Fourth?
yeah, like it's
China's the
US.
biggest. It has to be.
Well,
no,
China
I'm
where
saying
it started.
Japan. Japan is getting hit too. Like it has the fourth highest number of deaths.
Oh,
really?
So it is
Okay,
getting
so-
hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess
fair
they're
enough.
I guess they're just talking about
that's
China,
no
America,
surprise.
Italy.
That's no
Then
surprise.
the big three.
A lot of
Yeah.
Japan's population is elderly, right?
Right. So that's why I was saying like no one's talking about Japan. They have a pretty big elderly population too.
Now, okay, when do you guys think this will all pass? Like, how long will it take?
It will take a
I
month.
don't. I think it's gonna take like no. I think it's gonna max. I think it's gonna take 2 weeks.
Hopefully, because this shit's
Because
really
I was recently reading an article that said that they found a vaccine, not a vaccine, but like they were testing it on people, and they cured one old person in Italy and a couple people in the States.
All right.
So there's the
you-
possibility that in the next 2 weeks maybe they'll have a vaccine.
But again,
Um,
as I told you, the virus didn't reach its peak in terms of like spreadability, and like
That's true.
it didn't evolve that much. So the peak is
Mhm.
gonna be about next week or the upcoming weeks. The vaccines are not that effective. They cure people, but they are still vulnerable or like exposed to it. Still, they can still catch the illness again and again and again.
Mhm.
So they're trying to find the peak of the virus in order to make a vaccine for it in order to eliminate it.
I have
So
I have another question. I have one last question. What do you
Yeah?
guys think is going to be the aftermath of the epidemic
less pollution,
in terms of like economy? Like as
less
we
pollution.
know.
why less
Oh.
pollution. Why not
No
say
one's
like
going out. No one is going out. No one is using their cars. Did you see the map of pollutants in Italy?
Mhm.
It reduced to like 10% in 2 weeks, which is fucking crazy.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think
anybody
there'll
drinking
be
tonight?
again what?
Yeah.
Is anybody having drinks tonight? Getting drunk?
I'm getting very
Speaking of which, actually, Will. Speaking of which, there no one really did anything this past St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day was the other day, and no one really went out for that.
I tried to stream making a hamburger helper, and yeah, nobody really tuned in. It was really scuffed though. So
you did it for like 30 minutes too with like no comments and shit.
yeah,
I was like, how'd you go on for that long?
man, I thought you'd have to wait for a little bit for it to get what's it approved?
I
Because the
saw a
admin.
few comments and they were like,
Boston,
oh,
no,
how can
Boston.
white
I need
people-
to get admin in the culture.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll have that
I've done so much
it
shit.
closer?
Get out of here with that. I can definitely be a good admin.
Well,
Building
here's
upon
the
what
thing.
Bankai was saying too, though, is I actually am interested more in the aftermath than when the coronavirus like actually ends and how we solve it. Just because even when coronaviruses end, there's still going to be the lingering effects and the after, because people aren't going to stop. It's going to take time to get back to normal life after coronavirus, even when the cure is found and people are still going to be in their habits and things of that nature.
No, here's the thing. Here's how I see it happening, right? There are three major elements that we can focus on that will change after this coronavirus. This was the first epidemic that happened in the social media era. So the panic is unmitigated. The hype is explosive. And so after this epidemic, there has to be a real study on how to handle epidemics with the social media era in the future. So toilet paper doesn't run out of sheer panic and nothing else. The second thing that we need to focus on is a lot of people, like a lot of companies outsourced a lot of their product to China because it was cheaper. And in an increasingly global environment, it was a sound decision until an epidemic like this hits.
Because if everything is made in China and then everything made in China gets shipped out to the rest of the world, it sends out the epidemic with it.
Not just that, when China decides that these factories are more advantageous to stay at home right now because they need the product more than you, then they have full control over that.
The economy across
Yep.
the globe.
So if you outsourced all your production to China, right now your economy is fucked. You need now, in the future, at least you have a backbone local production.
Yeah.
So you can survive a crisis like this. So we'll see less focus on globalization of product. There's no, there will be less of get your cotton from somewhere, send it over to another place where they refine it and then into cloth, and then you get it somewhere where they sew it, and then they get it somewhere where it gets sold. that economic chain will have to be reduced somewhat and
more
localized.
more
at least to a certain
localized
degree.
industries.
Yep.
More localized industries. So
Yep.
like, yeah. One
So
thing
that's definitely
one thing I'll
welcome.
say too is there's going to be ups and downs because just like the housing crash of 2008, there's going to a lot of people that see opportunity in this as well, and they're going to buy low and they're going to sell high, and so there's whenever something like this happens, there's always those that lose a lot and people that gain a lot.
Well, yeah. That's
So
again.
so
It's,
so we've spoken about how the negative aspects and how people lose. How do you think people are going to come back from this, or what do you think are some opportunities?
well, I've just mentioned them. Whenever a crisis happens, and we weren't well equipped for it, generally, as human species, our first step on the agenda is making sure that never happens again. So the reason we have safety exits in all malls, buildings, and anything that's not a house, the reason that exists is because once a fire happened and people couldn't escape, and they burned to death. 200 people burned, and so we have now safety precautions to make sure that never happens again, and it never did. And now every fucking building in the world has that safety procedure. So something similar
Wasn't
will
that
happen.
I think I read about that in history class, and it was like a building where they made clothes, and like it was
Yep.
and like it was a bunch of female workers that got burned.
Yep, 200 women
Yeah,
died. I think.
yep. I remember that now. Yep, we learned that in high school.
So it's
Funny
a
thing
little bit
enough, they
something like
never
that.
tied it. They never tied it to the modern safety signs for buildings. They never said, "Oh yeah, this is why we have safety signs in every building." Never said that.
Yeah,
I
they
just
never
put two
do,
and two
but-
together now.
Yep, they never do. They usually just consider the tragedy and the remembrance. But I always look for the results, and one of the best results about the buildings are super safe now because things kept breaking down. You know, when a building sinks, we made geotechnical engineering. When a building burns and everybody dies, we make safety procedures. When road turns, when the square roads system was causing too many accidents, the curved roads were made because they actually make you whenever you see a curved road, you actually slow down. So it reduced the number of accidents. It's all a matter of trial and error and moving forward with that. That's most of our engineering work right there, right? And this entire crisis just reeks of engineering, you know?
It's funny because on the flip side, you also have the scenario of the market where you notice a trend of people making things that don't last as long and break on purpose within a couple of years. Because if they make something that lasts a long time, they can't make money on the next product. So, for example, with like a Windows XP, Microsoft kept supporting Windows XP, so no one bought Windows 7 and they lost a ton of money. So they're like, you know what? We're just going to shut down support for our operating system early and make people buy our new operating system. And you notice this with cars and products in general. You know, no one's going to give us money soon, so we got to make this thing faulty on purpose somewhat so that they have an incentive to keep buying new stuff.
I need to clarify or expand on this. When XP did that, they canceled support for a 10-year-old program. And that's fine. But when they released Windows 10, the point of it was to never need to do that ever again. Windows 10 is here to
Not
stay
to
forever.
focus on Windows specifically, but just to bring up an example to illustrate my point.
No, an example of intentionally faulting your hardware, that would be, what's it called? That would be Apple. Apple would intentionally fault their hardware, so you buy the new stuff. But every other company just slowly stops supporting the old
Apple
products.
has their laptops, those super thin keyboards. I can't stand them. I can't stand the butterfly keys on the MacBooks they've had the past 4 years.
Dude, like Mac, just Apple products in general, just kill yourself. You know, like no.
Fuck off with that
overpriced,
kill yourself
pointless.
shit. No, and you negative boy.
But
I despise the Apple
iPad
product.
Pro looks fucking
Why
fine,
though? Like I know there's shit because this won't work unless I have it plugged in. It's completely bad product, but
you're mentioning it exactly.
Yeah.
I can buy half the price for the same quality, if not more. Why would I buy an Apple product? You know, it's that simple with me. Like from phones to MacBooks to everything, they just look slick and they have a brand name that somehow keeps selling, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know. I think it's an effect or something. It's got to be some psychological things. Like
I would
how
say-
they always
Have you always bought Apple personally?
not yeah. To be honest, yeah. But I've not ever fallen into the get the new thing.
Yeah, I used to have an iPhone back in high school. But the one thing that killed me when it came to Apple products was their iPhone batteries and their older iPhones.
Oh.
When my iPhone started, like after only not even a year, going from like 80% to 20% battery power, I was like, I can't stand this. I'm done with Apple. I got the Galaxy S7 and I kept that for the rest of high school, no problem. And I'm like, you know what? I got to stick with Android now. Or not
That's
Android.
pretty much it. Whenever you make the leap, eventually, William,
Right.
you'll just realize how much in the dark you are, because that's everybody who switched from Apple has. Like,
And I'm not going to sit here and say Android's perfect. You know, there's a lot of problems with Android. You know, there's a with Apple, when you buy an iPhone, you know you're getting that one experience. You don't have to do research. Hey, I'm going to buy an iPhone. I know what experience I'm expecting. But when you try to go to Android, there's so many third-party manufacturers. You got to do the research. Okay, what am I looking for in a phone? What do I want, etc. And you know you do have to do a little bit more work to get the most out of Android, but it's worth it in the long run just because Apple pushed me to that point.
here's the thing, right? Personally, I have a phone, and generally speaking, most people in the world use 2% of their phone capacity. You don't need a fancy phone, and that's where Android jumps in. You can easily get a phone for like $100, and you can do everything you would do on an Apple phone with no problems. You don't even need to do the research.
And more often than not, they have some things that Apple doesn't even have free, like fast charging. It took forever for Apple to get fast charging.
It took forever for them to change their bloody fucking charging port. Is it Type C yet, or are they?
No, they're still using the Lightning port. They aren't.
Oh,
No, they're still using.
They are still using the Lightning port, but the end is not an USB. It's
the end that goes into the charger is USB-C, but it doesn't really
USB-C.
matter if the phone still needs Lightning.
So I'm gonna get to this point, but my point of view about this generally is Apple was and is still an innovative company, and Android is an inventive and innovative company.
No,
at the
there's
same
no
time.
denying that. I mean, people would.
Is
you know,
Android even
like,
a company?
No, it's just operating
Yeah, I
system.
know I'm
It's
just
open
bringing it
source.
up.
Yeah. So anyone can use Android, but only Apple can use iOS. So like you could make an Android phone, but only Apple can make an Apple phone.
While I do agree with that, I do have problems again with the innovation statement that was made here. Because when was the last time Apple did anything innovative? Since the iPhone 4, I haven't seen much. They've been
They
playing
really
catch up
haven't.
with.
They really haven't done anything.
Didn't they do
besides-
the touchscreen laptop?
That's not really much though. The only real innovation I'll give Apple is the original iPhone. They get credit for creating the smartphone era, but that's the only real big innovation I'd give Apple. Any other little innovations that really push smartphones forward were done with Android phones, like fast charging and features and capabilities and software features. But the original idea, like the actual smartphone itself, you can give Apple that. They were the first.
Okay, well,
pretty much,
if I
that's
were
fair
to
enough.
switch to Android, what kind of Android would you recommend?
Just go with Samsung. They're
Yep.
the old reliable. They're fine.
Samsung is really reliable. It's
Samsung's
really
a safe
simple.
choice. It's a safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, always pick the company that has a military division. You know that won't fail. Okay.
Yeah,
That's just how
true.
it works.
Yeah, you're not lying.
So yeah, I personally have a Samsung. Once I switch to Samsung, I haven't really seen any
Samsung-
anything else.
Samsung tanks.
Oh yeah, like imagine like, it does, like that's such a mind fuck when you say it. Like it's
Yeah,
still, I
are
can't
there
get over it.
actually tanks from them too?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
wait. Hang on, let me Google that.
No.
Drones,
For
tanks,
the
military
Korean government.
equipment.
For the
They are
Korean
such a
government,
big
they're in
company.
Korea.
Sorry.
Like South
Tank.
Korea, one of their like pillars of business is Samsung. So like they have their knees deep.
Holy
everywhere.
shit! Yeah, they did the
And-
K188
yeah.
tank.
And they're making so much money right now because of the trade conflict between China and America.
Oh, yes.
They hate each
Oh,
other.
yes.
So Samsung's just
That's
The
crazy.
Korea was basically like, okay, we make smartphones, we make washing machines. Why not put 8 next to each other and make a
Yeah.
fucking tank?
Why
They
don't we
make
a
everything.
fucking
They make
gun?
it. They make it all.
No, here's how it went, right? Like back in the 90s, it was all Japan, right? Japan is like the king of machines.
Video games,
Right.
Yeah,
automobiles.
yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
they were really going crazy with the
And then
technological
something
advancement.
happened to Japan. I don't know what. I don't know if the hentai culture got in or something and productivity
Any
went down.
boy
I
in
don't know what.
Hiroshima.
Right? But South Korea looked at that and they're like, you know what? We can do that better. And they did. And the only thing that's left is cars. And if once their cars start beating Japan, they become the superior brand country.
Their cars are already beating Japan slowly. In terms of Kia and Hyundai, they are partnering with BMW and Audi, as you can see from the Kia Stinger, which is powered by turbo, and their business is currently booming. They are starting to push into sports car concepts, and they are trying to push into grand touring like races and stuff. They have a lot.
I give it 5 years. I give it 5 years.
Yeah, it's not gonna take a while.
Babushka, can we see like a straight on from out of your face? Yeah, you look mad, A-RAB.
Oh yeah, like don't even.
Yeah. Yes, keep that side profile.
Keep.
Yep.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I should have a side profile.
Now I am curious, right? Have you guys looked at Marvel's new heroes?
Oh,
God.
I heard Snowflake and Safe Space. It's really bad. It's really bad.
It's horrifying.
It is. This is like. This is the state of comics. This is the reason I don't read comic books. This is
the new Warriors.
Yeah, the new Warriors. They have like there's one edgy vampire kid. Let's ignore him.
Yeah,
He's normal.
I just saw that.
But then there's Safe Space and Snowflake, and like they did everything wrong. Like they have a
Screen
male and a
time.
female. The female is blue. The male is pink.
Well, you
then-
gotta consider like the times too. Like, there's such a change in culture nowadays that like it's accepted. Like you already know about all the
having
gender wars.
having
and
no
stuff.
integrity. Having no integrity is normal now.
Yeah, dude. Here's the thing.
You could
Here's the
say
thing.
that.
They threw an internet kid to vibe with the internet generation, right? But that's a horrifying way to actually relate to the internet generation, because he can search things through Google. That's his superpower. What?
Wait, whose superpower is that?
What's his name? Like
Screen time.
screen time. There we go.
Screen
Yeah.
time. That's
That's stupid as fuck. What?
You've had
Wait,
enough.
let-
You've
let
had
me read
enough.
out-
You've
let me
had
read
enough
out his
screen time
description.
for the day. You've had
No,
enough
let me
screen
read out
time
his
for the
description
day.
real quick. A meme-obsessed super teen whose brain became connected to the internet after being exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas.
Yeah.
Gas, internet
Uh,
gas. Yes.
Yeah,
Internet
now
Internet
he can see
fucking gas.
augmented reality and real-time maps and can instantly
Do you know what's fucking
he can instantly Google any fact. Does
Do you
this
know-
make
do you
him
know-
efficient,
do you-
effectively a genius? He sure acts like it does.
also
And
the
here are some
dumbest
quotes from
fucking
him.
superhero is the one with the backpack? Like you
Oh yeah, the fat
you're
ass.
there
Yeah.
looking, you're looking there like Dora the fucking Explorer. with
Yeah,
her
yeah.
fucking backpack. Like seriously, are you gonna pull like a fucking pole out of your fucking backpack like a magician or something? Like
Dude,
what
I
kind
don't
of
mind-
idea? Is
They
that?
honestly, they better go through some like deadly stuff, or like it ain't no good.
Dude, whatever they just thought, whatever impact they thought they were gonna get from these Marvel superheroes, they didn't do it. They failed. They failed
No,
miserably,
They were trying too hard.
way too
They're out
hard.
of
And
ideas.
again, it's
There are the ideas.
like we can redesign this right now, and we will come up with a way better product than whatever they ever thought of.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of Marvel, how many people do you think are really like seriously going to invest their time into Phase 4? I think it's too. I think people need a break.
I don't think many people will invest in Phase 4. I think that they have a
That Marvel
hardcore
game,
fan
man.
base, and those guys will watch, but the rest won't. Because I think it was like the first 20 films, like when it ended in Endgame, that was a cultural phenomenon, and it's one of these things that it's all downhill from there, and it's not like they're doing anything to keep up with it. Like they want to introduce more LGBT stuff, and we all know the why, you know, the wisdom of get woke, go broke.
Go
So
broke.
I think that's the direction. That's the direction Marvel will get to. Like they're getting too woke in Phase 4, and that will kill any hype that they made from Endgame.
Well-
They already did that with their fucking, you know, that scene in Endgame where like 15 women stand together and then they all like have a fighting scene where it's just them.
yeah.
That was the most like that.
I don't
that,
know about. I liked it though. Like as much as cheesy as it was, I liked it.
I did
thought it
not,
was so badass.
because it was so
but there
forced.
was like conversation.
It was so forced.
Yeah,
It was so forced. Compare it to that gay scene they put where they have like Captain America sitting like in like a group where they're talking about like surviving the crisis, and one guy is talking about how he's finally dating again, and he's a guy, and he referred to the other guy as him, and it's all just feels normal. You know, and they're just a gay guy talking about opening up into relationships after this crisis, and then they both cried, and that was the end of that. That did not feel forced. That was fine.
Yeah, true.
You know, that slid right past, and then you have 15 women standing together who are gonna stop people and help with the coming crisis, and I was frankly disappointing. Like dude, Captain Marvel already stopped Thanos, right, in the film. Like he had to Power Stone her. Scarlet Witch already almost wrecked Thanos, and he had to like rain down hellfire to stop her. They already had representation. They were the most OP. What more do you want?
It's funny because, you know, it's whenever people bring up these topics about like, oh, you guys are just you guys just hate women, you guys don't like these scenes, you guys don't want movies for women. I need
to get Wendy
immediately that's not true, because there's a reason why people like Wonder Woman and why people don't like Captain Marvel, and Louis explained it perfectly in a stream a couple weeks back. But just to summarize, it's because they focused on just making a good movie with good characters than pandering, and that just so happened to have the elements that people appreciate.
And that's why they never once mention Wonder Woman, because they know
they'll lose their argument.
Mm-hmm.
It never tried to virtue signal, so the feminists don't really care about that, but they do care about Marvel because they try, and because they try, they feel like they're entitled to critique them because they think that scene wasn't enough. Funny enough, they said, "Oh, maybe Marvel did it too late now." You know, it almost is like that cranky girlfriend where you try to console her, right?
Oh.
She's like, no, too late now. And she sits around like moping, hoping for more. And the guy gets all confused. That's exactly how it feels like. Marvel tried, okay, you know what? Since there weren't enough women, here's some women scenes. Oh, it may have been too late, man. May have been too late.
What's wrong? Nothing.
Yeah, just like,
No. All I know is that none of the characters is gay, and that's what makes me angry. Marvel should step it up.
Wait, who? Yasha.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Yasha. I'm the local funny man.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Yasha. You want to go on camera? Why not?
Hi.
Oh my God! Get off! Get off!
This is a reference for OG people who have been here for at least 3 days. Hi, my name is Yasha.
Cool, yo. Where are you from, Yasha?
I'm in the Canadian regions.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Oh,
Where?
welcome.
What
Hi.
region?
In the Winnipeg area.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. No one
I'm in
Frenchy boys.
Saskatchewan.
I could. Oh, you're
So
Saskatchewan.
it's not no better, to be honest. But yeah, no, really close to be honest. You're in Winnipeg. Do you know what's that guy? Like he always walks around Portage, and what you call it? He wears like fake Gucci and shit. He's a fat guy, fat Asian man. And
Fat Asian man wearing
he goes like he
Gucci
always
walking
like
across
that.
the biggest boulevard in the city.
Yeah, like he
Why would I
always
know that?
walks around down there. I forget his name. He's like big cash or big money or some stupid shit like.
Arab money, probably. Arab money.
Arab money, huh?
What?
You know, all that I know is maple syrup is good. You can carry on with your Marvel shit.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Actually, since we have, I just realized we have a Canadian here. What do you think of your parliament? That's a question.
Come on, I don't have no knowledge on.
You don't do politics? Okay, how about
Yeah.
impression? If you see Justin Trudeau, do you want to punch him in the face?
No, I don't know what he's all about.
You don't.
He's really confused right now. He doesn't know what's happening. So I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
give
You can
Trudeau
just
the benefit
you
of the
know,
doubt. You can't.
stupid idiot.
You know,
right? Yeah.
to
Fuck
be
off.
fair, when I come home from work, when I come home from a hard day at work, I don't really want to jump into politics either. So I understand. You know, adult life.
No, but politics is so fun, though.
No, yeah, no, I definitely would discuss it if I knew about it. I just don't have.
Yeah, that's
any
fair enough.
huge
That's fair
input.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put words in your mouth and like try to like hit you when you don't know what you're like what you're talking about. But here's the thing, right? I find like a mistake of our generation, right? Is
Right.
that we separate politics from everything else, and there's fun stuff, fun topics, Marvel and everything, and then there's this political line above, and the second somebody approaches
right,
that,
right.
everybody gets uncomfortable.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm the
I
exact
totally get
opposite,
that.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
love
don't
talking about-
actually feel that way. Like I'm totally open to discussing and learning it, but like if you would ask me what are my thoughts on the current parliament, like I don't know what the fuck to say.
Well, you got to start somewhere, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you think the government's doing all right? How about that? Like,
Right.
is-
Well, current
They-
life, like I'll say, like current life is fine for me right now. So
So yeah, that's a pretty good assessment, right? Things are going all right for me, so everything is fine. That's
Right.
great. So
They wanted
government
to
is
make a
providing
pipeline
for
for
you.
it
You
to
can
move
start
some
from there.
oil around.
no, I'm actually really interested. I want to discuss this now.
Sure, let's play around. First things first. Are you familiar with a guy called Jordan Peterson?
I am. Yeah. He's Canadian
Yeah.
from Toronto.
So he went against a very particular bill that came out for compelled speech, and compelled speech means that if somebody comes to you and he's like they say that they are non-binary and you should refer to them as them, then you are
have to.
mandated by law to actually refer to them as them, and if you don't, you can go to jail for that or be fined for that.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? Do you think this is good or bad?
No, I disagree.
On what basis? Tell me your
Well,
thought
I
process.
mean, like the basis, like if there's two sides, like for me, I don't care. I don't care if you want to be called him or her. Like if it's my view, so I would just say like I feel like it's kind of like biased, maybe, but
Well,
yeah, no, I just I don't care. Like I
But
just
here's the thing.
have my
There's a
own thing.
difference.
Yeah.
The main problem here is that there's a difference between somebody politely asking you to refer to them as them and you doing that,
Sure.
and you being forced to do that.
Yeah,
Because-
I don't agree with like I'm totally fine if they ask me to like can you like I'd prefer if you called me she. I'd totally do that easy.
yeah. Well, here's
But
the
like
thing too.
if
going
someone
off
no
what you said.
wait if someone's if I'm gonna get a $200 fine for that for just like being drunk and like or just like not knowing enough and just like oh he's doing this and like oh I'm gonna go like it just like and it escalates into like a legal situation. I don't know. I don't think that's
not
right.
desirable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: it's very easy to say "don't say something," and that's punishable by law. Don't say the N-word, you know,
Right.
and that's punishable by law. Don't deny the Holocaust, and that's punishable by
Hassan
law.
has something to say too.
As long as it's don't say, it's fine. But if you are forced to say something, that enters extremely dangerous turf. We're going to China territory here, and when that happens, the second you introduce compelled speech, that you have to say certain things, then you can keep introducing more and more and more and more. And suddenly all your speech is mandated to you, or you're punished by law. And that's what Jordan Peterson was campaigning against. And yet the bill passed in Canada. So again, my problems with the current government is that they let things like this pass in Canada. And I worry about my Canadian friends because of that.
One thing I would like to add to this is knowing human nature. I feel like people are more willing to accommodate each other when they're not forced to, rather when they are forced to. Like if it's not by law, people, we have evil and human nature, but people are willing to be nice to each other if it's not something that's infringing upon their freedom or time or whatever. It's like, okay, whatever, you want to be called this, fine, that's fine.
That's pretty much how it should be, right? That's where America wins the free speech argument, right? They are the only country which have full-on, non-conditional free speech laws. You can say whatever the fuck you want, and nobody can stop you.
Because there's freedom of speech and there's also freedom of consequence. It also, like, if you go up to someone and you talk shit to them and call them something you shouldn't, and they get mad and they smack you or whatever, it's like, what you said and what's going to happen. Freedom of speech, freedom of consequence. If you do this,
yeah, it's pretty much that, right? So when you go along and you say something, you have to pay for that something if that something is undesirable, right? This already exists. We call it the court of public opinion, right? If you don't get punished by law, you get punished by the court of public opinion. So if you go along on a big
Twitter.
TV show, right now, yeah, but it doesn't have to be. You can say something bad in a bar and you get smacked in the face, and that's the court of public opinion taking, punishing you for what you said.
Yeah.
We already have that. It's built in our cultures. Right?
It's human nature.
Yeah. Why do we have to mandate, to place even more easily exploitable laws to control things that don't need to be controlled? That's the argument again against compelled speech.
Even consequence-wise, it's all really iffy to me. This concept of freedom of consequence. Like, if someone doesn't call me by my preferred pronoun of Pontifex Maximus, and I pull out a Glock and shoot them in the head, it still doesn't work either.
That is interesting, right? Because
also my preferred pronoun is Pontifex Maximus. So
it's much like nicknames, right? So if my name is David, but I like to be called Dave, and I tell somebody that, and they don't call me Dave, they still decide to call me David because they were raised in an environment where you refer to people by their name and not their nickname, so they're more comfortable saying David. That should be a point of discussion between you and David, not with anybody else, right? I can't call the government because somebody called me David when I want them to call me Dave. It's that simple.
But in real life, I have yet to see anything where this came into play, this supposed law that Pearson fought. I've never heard about it, not even universities where it's condensed on the progressive movements. So,
it won't come into effect because how do you enforce it? They probably tried, because when is the line? If somebody made a mistake, is that punishable? And if you call somebody in and they say they made the mistake even though they didn't, is that punishable? Do you stop punishing everybody? They don't know. And if people like Peterson came out, and so a lot of people are fighting against it, and so they do what regular trolls on the internet do, which is if you go, don't say nigger, everybody starts saying nigger. It's that simple with the internet. So the backlash is not worth the trouble. So the law is impractical, but the precedent of the law is what's dangerous. Because again, that's how you get into if you badmouth the government, you disappear, China style. You know, cameras everywhere, audio clippers everywhere, and you can't badmouth the government. I have a friend from Hong Kong who's too afraid to criticize the government on phone call whenever I call him, and the reason he says that is because, well, if I say anything, I don't know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. Maybe they get me, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm scared, so I'm not going to talk about it. Like we don't want that, especially in countries that already pride themselves in free speech. Like why digress, or rather, go back, go forward. You guys are already forward. Like go forward.
If anything, it's just like a goodie points for the more left-leaning people. Like, look, we did this. There's a law for it. We put the vote for us next time.
Yeah, that's how
I don't
Trudeau
give this
keeps
shit
winning,
too much
though.
attention.
That's how he keeps winning. I don't want him to keep winning.
Okay, last election, all the other guys kind of sucked. So, he won terrible victories. I'll let him have it.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Minority government, not very good. But yeah, William, what do you think of all what we've just said? I don't want you to keep you out of the loop here.
Homie, honestly, I have been going on Discord, looking at Facebook, and not listening.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The first honest person to appear on
You know what? I
this-
do
give
want to
this
be
man
in.
an
the
award.
loop. Can you like give me a quick snap of what's going on?
Basically, we discussed the consequences of compelled speech and why that means that the minority government that Trudeau has right now isn't particularly desirable. That probably there must be a government change in Canada,
So
or else you guys will start
Trudeau,
going down, not up.
Is Trudeau is Trudeau and his minority government enforcing the something speech?
Not yet.
But it is coming, like that. They're leaning towards that.
I don't know. The law has been passed. It hasn't been enforced yet. It can be enforced at any time. It's one of these things.
Yeah,
Kappa?
I don't know. I think it is pretty problematic. Like,
Yeah.
think of I'm Canadian, and I'm right in the middle of Canada. I'm with all of the Canadians, dog. So
right, hardcore, right?
And a lot of people, believe it or not, are pretty racist. They're like, they're always talking shit about you remember the Syrian crisis? Like, I don't want to call it a crisis, but like all the Syrian refugees coming to Canada,
right?
So many Canadians were like really nasty towards that. And like a lot of they got a lot of we got a lot of cabbies, and just like a lot of jobs got filled up by the refugees, and a lot of Canadians were mad about that. And it's like, oh, fucking refugees taking our jobs, and just like being mad about that, And yeah, I don't know.
Do you necessarily think this is bad though?
Having refugees in Canada?
No, the people reacting badly to the immigration.
I do. I feel like I don't think these people deserve like the treat. I mean, like, they're just like, I feel like Canadians, us, are being biased. Like I said, I'm not super political, so I'm not
it's fine.
Completely informed.
Let me explain to you their stance, though, just so you can see like where they're coming from. Why are they being racist, right? So it goes like this: when immigrants come, generally first-generation immigrants are super hardworking because they're in a new environment. They need to maximize their opportunities, right? Yeah. So that increases they have a competitive edge just by being immigrants and wanting to work hard in this new place. As people of Canada who have lived here, there is a feeling of resentment to that because, Canada is supposed to help us first, and we are in the shithole. And they're coming in. Right? So that's where the degree of resentment comes from. It's not against the immigrants; it's against the idea.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, what about us?
Yeah. Well, it all comes back to one thing too: is taxes. Citizens pay taxes, and generally speaking, immigrants, for the most part, if they aren't citizens, don't. And the problem The problem lies in tax dollars going to benefit people who don't pay taxes and don't appear to be paying taxes in the near future.
It's different here. Here, everybody pays taxes. International students pay taxes. It's just they handle taxes a lot differently here because of they're very generous with different areas of tax refund, depending on how they see if you are eligible for stuff like that. A lot of welfare goes around this country.
Yeah.
But my argument is, out of all the countries in the world to complain about immigrants, you came to one of the most immigration needing countries. The country's empty. Like, my city's empty.
Yeah, same. Too.
Yeah, and his city too. Maybe not the metropolis, is about Ontario and whatnot.
Right, yeah, no, I agree. It's like, it just happened too. Like, it came like a snap last 2 days. Everyone started staying inside. Like, I can't tell you how many times I went to the supermarket and everyone was stocking up, just going crazy with, like, well, it's mostly cleaning supplies, but if you like look at pasta and all that.
Oh, it's mostly pasta.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
mostly
pasta, yeah. Because
Oh yeah, I had an adventure yesterday regarding that. So,
Well, you hunted for pasta? You went into the woods?
I wish it was like that. This boy was sitting around. I've been like in quarantine for like a week or so. And then for like a couple hours, whenever I inhale, I hear and feel bubbling in my lungs. I'm like, oh shit, the pneumonia kicked in. So me being that, I'm not concerned for myself or my siblings, we're good. But my mother has a lot of lung-related problems throughout her history. So like, nope, I'm not. If I got infected, 1,000,000,000% she got too, like in the past.
Right.
So I get my ass over to the general hospital. I get into the first door I see, and I tell them that I want to get tested, but I tried to call the helpline, the Canadian helpline. They didn't pick up, so I came here. And the two people sitting up front had the look of absolute terror in their face, as if the Grim Reaper just came in. I'm like, no, this is the visitors area. Go for the other door. I went from the other door and spent like 40 minutes getting scanned 3 times, just for them to tell me that since I haven't traveled anywhere, I'm not eligible to get tested for the virus, and just go home now. Wash your hands. So quality time. But now the bubbling is gone. So yeah, no more pneumonia. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
no,
that's a funny thing.
I was for a minute, I was kind of worried like, oh, am I gonna get corona? But like, I'm always in my house. Where the fuck am I gonna catch coronavirus? So,
exactly.
Oh, dude,
I'm good.
For me, like even if there wasn't a quarantine right now, I would still not be worried about the virus as much. It's not that I don't think I'll get it. If I get it, I get it. I don't care too much about that. But I know me, and I'm pretty clean, right? Yeah. So chances are good, you know?
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I do not wash my hands as much as I should, but I'm gonna start. But like, I've got a really strong immune system. I drank out the hose as a kid, so
hygiene theory.
I'm good.
It is real. God,
no, it's very simple. Like all this virus revealed is who doesn't wash their hands, you know, and who doesn't use toilet paper. That's been very clear. You know, U.S. where you at? You know, you dirty pieces of shit.
That's crazy. I've never ever. I've heard of people that don't wash their hands. I've never heard someone that's like wiped their hand of shit.
Yeah,
and just wash their hands. Yeah. There's no way.
Do they have bidets in Canada? I know it's not a thing.
Well, I've never seen one, but like I'm sure you can get one installed if you want it. But like if you go to a restaurant or something, I've never seen one.
How do you even use one without making a mess? We don't have to talk about it. I was just came out stream of consciousness, ignore it, or
yeah, we can talk about it in a good way. Like it'll be fun. It's like it's not dirty at all. Like it doesn't spray out of the bowl. it's like you just sit on it, and it's like a little steady stream, and it just goes up. And if you put
No,
like,
I mean
like you just
the one where you have to like the hose that you have to hold in your hand, the one that comes.
oh, I've never seen one of those. It's just like a shower handle.
Yeah,
that's
shower handle
that's
bidet.
more of an
Yeah,
Arabian thing. That's you ask us for that one.
yeah, but like how do you use it without making a mess?
Well,
You
like
you
you
aim.
put it in the toilet before you turn it on, obviously.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. You don't. It's real. We're trained since childhood on it, so we don't really. I don't even give it a thought. You just aim and you're good. There isn't much mess that can happen out of it, really.
Did you use a bidet often?
Every time. Like,
Every
Okay. Well,
single
yeah,
day.
that is like a cultural thing, right? Like
Yep.
Arabs always do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
with water.
Yeah.
The one thing I never
then
understand.
water,
though-
then you dry up with
Yeah, it's
tissue.
like they want like you
I've been
wash your
taught on
hands and
both.
feet,
yeah, the one.
hands and feet, and like it's just you guys are really clean, right?
Yeah,
Mostly, we have our bad apples, but yeah, for the most part,
Yeah, of course.
it's the funny thing about Arabs is they still only eat with their right hand because in ancient times before washing your hands with soap after using the bathroom, Arabs would wipe their ass with their left hand. So you eat with your right hand because you don't want to eat with the hand you wipe your ass with. But we wash our hands now every day because of modern sanitization. But Arabs still hold on to that. So
they still had soap.
Hmm.
Soap
So
is a pretty ancient thing.
Yeah,
so-
true.
so-
Hey,
so-
they still had
Parents
soap,
will
but
slap
again,
you
you
know
just
what I'm
don't want to
saying.
do that generally.
Yeah, so parents will like slap your hands. Oh, don't eat with your left hand. You feed you feed shaitan when you eat your left hand. Shaitan eats with you when you eat with your left hand.
what is that? That's the devil.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's our devil.
Okay.
But here's the thing, right? Like
feed
we
shaitan
have
with your left
even
hand.
left-handed people here. If you're left-handed, you can like mostly you do everything with your left hand except eating.
I always
Because-
found Muslim cultures to be super like Muslim religion. I always felt that to be so strict. Like I mean, Christianity is strict too.
well,
But if you look at like Muslim, you gotta starve yourself for Ramadan, and what else? Like honestly,
Here's how I'd put it.
I don't
Here's
know
how
too much.
to give
but
you
holy-
context, this is how it goes. For the Islamic culture, it goes like this: it's a lifestyle. If you adopt a Muslim ideology, you have a lifestyle that's given to you, and you assimilate yourself into it. So you have to do these certain things.
Right.
You have to do these things. Avoid these things. Everything else, go crazy, right?
there is
and-
a certain air of pretentiousness that comes with it, though.
To some, yes. You if you look
Any
at the older
lifestyle has a
generations-
pretentiousness to it. Vegans
fair
have
enough.
pretentious. Musicians, anything that can form an identity will have people who will be pretentious about it. I'm just curious. I've seen a trend with the people that aren't Muslim. Like their number one thing where they would ask about or get concerned about is the whole fasting thing. I think it's a bit hard to understand in other cultures.
I don't even eat 3 full meals a day. Like barely 2. Like I don't think people are. I don't think anyone is really like think about it. I don't think anyone on average is truly hungry enough or needs to eat 3 full meals a day every day.
I don't know about
mean-
you, but I'd eat 40 if I could.
Oof, no.
I love food.
I would get sick. But yeah, it's the one thing you will see in modern times though, especially in Western countries, is you'll see like signs or memes like Islam is right about women. You see that one a lot.
Fake news, Chief. Fake news.
There is a point because it is kind of built in Islamic culture that the man has some sort of let's say a caretaker position, while the woman has more like a support role in the family unit,
No,
and that's built in.
it's just that they subscribe a lot more to traditional gender roles. That's it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's
That's exactly what I said.
that would be true, but more often than not, like Trillian says, in most Middle Eastern countries, they just end up getting a maid to do all that.
Well, yeah, but
Because they have money.
that goes.
We don't do that in the Levant.
Yeah, the Gulf countries, the oil-rich countries, are the countries that do that because they can afford it. But like, like Iraq, Levant area, like they don't have any of that. And in those places, the family unit is stable, and it just happens that the religion supports that since the beginning. Any religion would support this because it only makes sense. And in general, religions are built upon common sense, despite what the atheists say.
The problem with atheism and
I'll be right back.
people that
Sure.
the problem with atheism and people that only rely on is that they'll deny anything that's based on observable facts just because it can't be scientifically proven. But where would we be if everyone acted like that? They just, oh well, you can't prove it, so it's useless. We literally wouldn't get anywhere. There is merit to going off of just observable facts until you can like figure out how it works.
There are different kinds of atheists, and they are atheists for different reasons. The one that's all sciencey, there are levels to it as well. I've heard people who are very reasonable with what they take and what they don't.
Atheism certainly evolved in these past 10 years. Like before, there was only one team. Like, everybody was like the amazing atheist on YouTube, pretentious, calling out people, and those people really were a bit too late in that agenda because, God is dead and we have killed him. That's Nietzsche's statement, and it happened before the World Wars. And the World Wars, if you can make a strong argument that they were a big reaction to the death of God in philosophy, because if there is no universal unit controlling the universe, what to do? There's the utopian way, and there's the just do stuff way, and the do stuff way won. And so right now it grew because like more people are becoming more reasonable. So you have the rise of the agnostics that we just don't know. There are the people who think that are very atheist, like strong atheists, but right now they're like they understand the value of religion and the values that presents. So they're less chill or more
like,
chill.
That would be more of the
them.
Jordan Peterson crowd. Like trying to actually break down and understand religion and how it was used and implemented and why and how it relates.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like breaking it down.
Yeah, instead of calling it like the demon that we have to beat now in order
Like
to evolve, they're more like
trying to figure out why it clicks and why it lasted and every little thing and how it connects and how it works.
It's almost if it is they're approaching it more scientifically now, which they should have from the beginning. Because here's the thing, right? Most of science is based upon one unit: observe, have a theory, and test that theory. Observe again, right?
Yeah. Well, And the other thing too is like this can be to allow you to continue, but just to throw the thing with religion is that we use religion just because it's by far the biggest illustrator of this point, but it could be applied to all fiction.
It can, yeah.
And works of art, any like abstraction in general.
It goes like this, right? Have you like the hero with 1,000 faces, right? Like all of these stories about heroes follow a pattern that's called the hero's journey. And we call that we refer to that as an archetype, an archetypal story. And then you ask yourself, well, are there any more archetypal stories? Well, right then you open the Bible and you have 20,000 archetypal stories. One of them being the Tower of Babel, for example. People building up so high, and it ends up, where nature ends up crashing it down and destroying it. So don't fly too close to the sun. Don't build too aggressively up. In fact, you can see that happening in our current Corona crisis, right? We're trying to increase globalization. We're building the Tower of Babel too high. Next thing you know, boom, coronavirus, nature hits you. Boom, you're fucked. Tower starts crashing, and now you need to rebuild again. It's an archetypal pattern, and you can look at mythologies and the religions and take out these snippets and really formulate very, very good, strong archetypal stories that can guide you through life, and that can be your new religion, wherever it is, and that can be a very powerful tool. In fact, a lot of people are going through that direction right now. They're noticing these patterns, and it helps us that we're in the information age, because people now it's very easily recognizable.
It makes
It's
sense.
it's truly something, just being able to do all this like throughout the world. Just like we're all over the globe, like just talking right now and sharing information. Like it's all come to this.
Again, we're living in the best era, and that is relevant. A lot of people like to focus on the bad, the poverty that's being fixed, the famine that's being fixed, all these things that are increasingly getting better but still exist and need time. People like to focus on that and calling this era bad, but in truth, look at us. We're just regular people. Like 50 years ago, we'd be living off a dollar and barely making ends meet.
Yeah, that's the other
And
thing too. Is like about this country, about America, is that anyone can become somebody over here. But like, let's say you're poor in another country, it's very hard to get out of poverty in other countries. If you're a U.S. citizen in America, the American dream. Not a lot of people can get it, but it exists in the sense that if you have a great idea and you're able to put that great idea out there and people like that idea, then you can make something happen from it.
I think the American dream is way better than that. That's the classical American dream. But let me put that aside. To me, I view the American dream as something very different, which is that generally speaking, if you work hard and you try your best, your child's generation will be better than yours, and your grandfather's grandchildren's generation will be better than your children, and so on. And you can slowly build up your family up to middle class and above, which very reasonably and very quickly. In 3 generations, you'd be middle class if you were dirt poor, if you work hard and do the right moves. And I haven't seen that fail once. It's only the people who shoot too far and want to become the super American dream. They want to become the next Jeff Bezos. These are the guys who shoot and fall very quickly. But if somebody builds upon a sustainable business or a sustainable model, like say a family restaurant, slowly growing it, or a local pub, or even like a small store, and then your child inherits that store and slowly builds it up too, and like the results really surprise me, because in America it's very stunning how quickly they can grow. It grows in other parts too. Almost every country with this, anybody approaching this problem with this mentality can get pretty far.
Yeah, the problem
But
you have,
America-
the problem you have too, though, is that not one person is the same. So you run into a lot of situations where your kids may not want to continue your legacy, in the sense that maybe they don't want to do what your business was or what your plan was. Maybe they don't want to be a restaurant. Maybe they want to be an engineer or this or that or whatever.
Even better. That's an even quicker step, because you can support them. When back then you had to open a store, but your child doesn't have to. He can, but he can go on to become an engineer, work on a career, move out, start his own family with a higher standard of living than yours. You'd still be in the store, and when you die, the store will close, but your son will be in a good position. They had that opportunity, and if they didn't, freedom when you didn't, right? First generation barely knows any English, jumps in, has to go to English courses and go to the store hours after hours, and then their child comes on a golden plate, just enters the public education program, and as an American citizen gets out of it and is able to make something out of himself. That is impossible back in the day.
Yeah, Yeah, and the only thing I don't like is when like the first generation immigrants still hate the country that gave them and their children opportunities and still talk shit about it, like America, I hate America, evil America. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Then what do you want to? Then why are you? Then what are you? Then what's this better life that you're trying to find over here?
It goes like this. It goes like this. Generally speaking,
Ever grateful.
being ungrateful to your country, it goes like this generally, or to the country you've immigrated into. It goes like this. You'd never do it as a family unit, but you would do it as a society unit that moved into another society, because it's different. That's the problem. If let's
They don't
put
want
it
to
like this.
conform to America. They want America to conform to them.
Yes,
And because America's not going to do that, they hate America because America's different from them.
pretty
And
fucking
America's
much.
not
That's how
gonna
it
do
goes. That's happening all across Europe right now. That's
You
where
know,
the tension
like-
comes from.
Yeah,
A
you know,
society moved in.
yeah.
That's a problem.
And I guess, family structure is a bit different in America too than it probably is in the Middle East, where maybe, I'm not to talk about my family, but in other countries, like kids are their parents' retirement plan, so to speak. If you know what I'm trying to say. But over here, parents plan for that. So they have their 401k, they have their savings, they have investments, they have this. But so, like if immigrants come here and they don't prepare for that because they just expect they expect their kids to be their retirement plan. Well, if you raise them in a country where their economic system isn't built for that sort of thing, then it's like creates resentment, and that can cause issues between. I'm gonna grab my charger for my laptop.
Sure. And yeah, you're not wrong on this. Generally, the culture change is something that is shocking, and a lot of people consider especially consider classic conservatives. Let's not even talk about them being Muslim. They can be Christian, they can be Indian, they can be anything, right? And they come from a very conservative village or very conservative lifestyle, and they move into somewhere where in the States where according to them, there's just the society is very degenerate, right? And they see that that's the environment that their kids are going to live in, and they find that very difficult to accept. Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly it's majorly a part about cultural shock. Like they either stay in a very open-minded country or a very westernized country, and when they come back from that country, they get another cultural shock. Like it's all about trying to get used to the culture itself in order to progress and know the pattern. But it's just back and forth with the cultural shock if they live in a westernized country or come back to their country. It's all back and forth, just like Kuwaitis when they go to or they live in Europe and then come back from Europe, they just experience that cultural shock, and then most of their children, they can't find jobs because usually they are used to speaking English or German or whatever.
I wouldn't make it if I went to a Middle Eastern country.
You'd make it actually. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. A country like Kuwait accommodates English very easy. If you know English, that's all you need.
Yeah.
You can go to the Middle East with English and be all right.
Not all parts of the Middle East. Think oil-rich countries.
Mostly.
You can easily go there, find a job, just by the fact that you know English. And trust me, if you have a certain degree and you happen to be American or Western in general, they take you over their own population any day.
Why?
Because generally they trust them more as businessmen and as engineers. They don't trust us as much because a lot of us like to cheat. Well, there's a huge cheating culture in Kuwait, and a lot of people who move out to the States realize that they can cheese their way onto doing all the homework and all the exams.
Does that come from an entitlement mentality? Because I've not that you have, but I've kind of subconsciously alluded to that with the relationship between an immigrant population and the Kuwaiti population, undiscussed like entitlement mentality, where it's like, why did they make it so we can't use our phones during the school testing by sending out the radio signal that turns off Wi-Fi and data? And what do you mean you're gonna hire a Westerner over me? And what do you mean? You didn't get a 4-year degree to be an engineer? You're da 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 da.
Here's the thing. You're spot on, right? The analysis is correct. There is a huge entitlement problem, but that's not what contributes to the cheating. What contributes to the cheating is that people realized very quickly that if they cheat, they get better grades, and if they get better grades, they can enter have a better career option via the welfare program. And if they keep cheating and they don't get caught and they keep working their way up, they'll get that degree. And then they realize that if they jump into a government position where there is an oversaturation of most jobs, you don't have to do any work, and the government would pay you. And the people who actually worked hard and would like to continue working hard will carry on the load, because generally speaking, a square root of people who are employed do most of the work, while the rest kind of just do what they can, right? So what happens here is it's a chain load of seeing your future being easier if you just cheat your way through instead of work hard. And because it's way easier to cheat instead of actually doing your work, it just became prevalent to cheat. As a person who barely cheated, I can tell you about how many sophisticated tactics we have developed in high school and in college in order to maximize our getting better grades options. And we take those, and if people get to study outside, they take that with them, right? They have those sophisticated methods. And the US is not prepared for our cheating methods, And so what happens is
but what happens when you bring that into the actual workplace, though, where your
Nothing.
actual merits need to matter?
Zero. You can't get hired into private places because you won't even pass the test. But government hires you if you have a degree, and they'll put you in an office.
Government
and it's up to you whether you work or not. Yep.
Mm.
And if you suck at your job, they can't fire you because that's government mandate. If you're Kuwaiti, you can't be fired. So you can literally sit on your
government
ass.
jobs is a little different than U.S. government jobs.
Oh, very different. Very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
So basically, like any Kuwaiti citizen who comes from a good family can get a golden parachute by just getting a government job and then sitting on their
You don't
ass.
even need to be from a good family. You don't even need that.
Yeah, you can just check in your job and check out your job with no fucking problems. No one does work here. And it's just like as easy.
But that's a big problem, though, not just because of the government, but because of the kind of mentality that it perpetuates. That can only be sustained for so long before it becomes
Exactly.
And are there symptoms already being shown of like the downfall of that?
Yes, we won't have a Venezuela here. Okay, we won't reach Venezuela level, but we cannot sustain this forever. Eventually, there will be a point where these problems will have to be addressed. But basically, the Kuwaiti governmental model is built upon stability, and they want the people to be happy, and they want the people to just stay content. So they'll do everything to promote that over actual economic growth.
Are they really
easily turn on a switch?
Is that
we can
really
easily turn on a switch, and it will what? What was that?
Are they really happy though? Like, how do you get any fulfillment out of that? Just sitting through life.
I mean, they get paid.
As far as the government is concerned, the definition of happy is that people don't complain as much, or they don't complain to the point of revolt. They don't complain to the point where they start demanding shit. The government makes you live a very, very good life. If you have humble ambitions, Kuwait's perfect for you. Like, I can sit here in my government job, have everything I need since my demands are very low. I want a car, I want a nice laptop, I want to, I want to not worry about the paycheck once I order out or go out to a restaurant. Those demands are easy. So my job is enough to cover for that. It's only the people who are ambitious that this will not be enough for. It's very hard for ambitious people to grow out of Kuwait, but for a general population, you'll have a very good life with no real with very minimal challenges.
Do most ambitious people over there end up having to leave the country for like America
I'm back.
Not necessarily because private sectors they
Yeah.
care about.
Also, there's still the private sector of Kuwait for more
Yeah,
ambition.
you can fulfill your ambitions. You can move. It's just harder because
It is pretty
everything
hard.
you do will be less. You can
America's
just go to
much
the
more
government sector.
competitive, so it's even if there is the ambitious sector.
Yo, Harry
you'd probably
Babushka,
wanna
I'm
move
sorry
there.
to interrupt,
Yeah,
but I'm trying to get some really cute girls to join the stream. Can you drop a picture of your face so I can give it to them? Give it to them. Yeah, go. Just drop that shit, boy.
Do you want a picture of my
Yeah,
face?
you're the cutest. You're the cutest in this whole ass shit.
I'll have you know,
what's
I
wrong
was
with my face? My face.
Yeah, give me like
queen
a
of my
straight.
prom.
Yeah. Give me a straight profile. Straight profile. Straight profile.
Excuse me?
Like
Babushka,
I love
just like,
how, like,
DM me.
the
or
difference
something.
in
I'll fucking do
priorities.
that.
is pref-
Wait, Babushka, are you Kuwaiti too?
No, like
Yeah.
I got
What
I
country
got
are
this
you
guy. I got this guy on cam right
Look,
now.
if I'm gonna explain like my whole fucking DNA thing, it's gonna take a long time. But I'm Kuwaiti.
You don't have to be specific. I'm not asking for that, but
Okay,
like,
let me
He's
specify.
10%
He
black.
is Kuwaiti, but Kuwait is the America of the Middle East. So it's a mix of people. Okay, we have a new people.
I'm not gonna
new
lie,
person
he's
in.
not the fucking
Yeah,
most beautiful.
I'm basically
But they all-
half Turkish, half Persian from my mother's side, and I'm half Iraqi and half like Kuwaiti from my father's side. So I'm basically a box of Macintosh. As
A
a person.
gypsy.
Babushka, what's your real name?
My name is Ali, just like
I
Trillion.
know.
My brother's
No.
name is Ollie. My
Okay,
brother's name-
Jackie, shut the
Hey,
fuck up.
it's a
What's your
popular name.
Ali? Babushka?
Wait, Trillion, your name's Ollie, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
What?
Ah,
But Babushka, what's your name?
Ali.
Wait, both of
ALI.
you guys are our names.
name
Ali?
Yes,
that's
it's
a,
a popular name. That's
That's-
why.
it's
Okay. Well, what about Hamza? Is that a popular name too?
Not
Hamza
very
is
actually.
a pretty
It's
Persian
popular in
name.
Iran, not
Okay.
here.
Yeah,
Babu, Ali, give me a straight profile. I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna send it to these girls, and they're gonna join
no.
our fucking stream.
No.
I mean,
take this picture.
do it. Hurry,
the
dog.
last girl that got on the stream was 2 years old, right?
No,
I don't think
no,
we've
they're
ever had
both-
a girl
they're
on
both
stream.
good age.
Fatumi.
I mean, I
Oh, yeah.
tried.
Okay.
Aziz's
Ali,
daughter, yeah.
Give
That
a
counts.
straight profile. Look as good as you can, to be honest, dog. I
man.
really want these girls to join.
Hey,
I'm
man,
really
you
freaking
gotta
out
be
with
careful.
it. Just
You gotta
still
be
on
careful.
screen.
I mean, yeah, you can take a picture of
No,
me. It's probably
fuck it.
easier.
Yeah,
We got
take a picture of Yasha. He's the cutest one here. He's a white.
I am the cutest
dude,
girl.
Yasha,
Wrong. That's-
Yasha,
everyone
he's
he's
make
knows
it
good. He's
too
got a
good.
fat ass
Don't make it
face.
too good. You don't want them. Don't make it too good. You don't want them to go crazy over Kuwaiti boys.
Yeah, we're trouble.
Yeah, we're gonna have
This
an
took a
orgy.
weird fucking turn, man.
Yeah, it
We're
just came out of
talking about,
nowhere.
like,
ambition
That's
and
cultural
just-
differences to let's get girls on
Hey,
stream.
Yasha,
Anyway.
Ali, go straight profile. I need pictures of you.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, Trillion.
What is
Trillion,
happening?
they did-
We were talking about
Trillion,
like
they did
anime
good.
last thing
They
I
look
remember.
good.
Jojo.
Fuck the anime, dog. We getting some
Wait,
girls.
what?
and-
Okay, everybody's talking over each other. Hold on. What's going
Okay.
on? One by one.
Okay. Segue to the fucking
All right.
private sector.
V.
Yeah, private
Um,
sector. Okay, let's cover that.
pretty
Why?
happy- I'm pretty
Let's
happy
stay on
about
point.
yeah. I'm pretty happy about my college because it's teaching people to be more ambitious about their jobs and trying to like prepare them for private sectors in order to get a job. And with the subject, which was ethics, they call it ENGR, which is engineering, basically.
I know. Okay. All right.
They
V.
describe the
Sorry, hang
process about engineering design process and the steps required in order to be an engineer, and it basically explains every step in order to like perfect your job, like to not be shady or to just like it's just dumb steps, but it's a really good step in order to prepare ambitious people in order to work in private sectors. Although I am studying in a private sector, which is really
There's-
really like, interesting.
There is one problem with a lot of the way people are pushing ambitious people in Kuwait, though. And my main problem with them is that they really, really encourage the concept of entrepreneurship over anything, forgetting the fact that you can be as ambitious working in a company for somebody else and be very, very successful there. A lot of
Here's
people
the
are
other
like,
thing too. You have to be careful because America has the opposite problem of Kuwait, where being overly ambitious in your career is ruining the family structure.
yep. No, it's not even that. It's not even that. Our family structure is already fucked. But the the thing it goes is a lot of promotion. Like if you go to like ambitious, successful people, they always tell you go for entrepreneurship. Go for entrepreneurship, regardless of degree. Go for entrepreneurship.
guys, I want to start a business.
Right? But I've had this with I've had this talk with my brother, right? And my brother, to him, he's like, opening a business is something you do in your 30s or when you're 35. Once you've developed enough experience under experienced men, so you're supposed to start low and work your way up in a very effective business, study how it works, learn the tricks and the tropes, and then gather all that knowledge, find the right connections to partner up with you, and then start your own company. But most people right now, all they want to do is they want to make a business and hit the jackpot. And if they hit the jackpot, it's great. And if it's not, they're going to live off their parents' money for the rest of their lives. And that's what happens to a lot of entrepreneurs in Kuwait is they entrepreneur as their career choice. And what that basically means is I'm stuck with my family giving me money until one of my businesses work. And that is a disastrous model.
Yeah.
But what AOM is doing is not bad. With like encouraging people to be more ambitious is a great thing.
Yeah, I
It's
like
just
it. I like it very much. Like apart from how shitty the college is and how unsocial the campus is, their work is pretty like stunning.
I haven't seen a college campus that is social. Usually, the only places that are social in campuses are if they have like clubs.
Will,
can go
do you
to
know
clubs.
you're muted, or are you talking to another group?
Oh, he's trying. I assume he's trying to convince the ladies to join in.
Oh, yeah. Let him do his thing.
Yep. And a guy keeps coming up with no device, so I'm gonna keep kicking him out because until such a time as we see his face, or hear his audio, there's no point.
Yeah.
And yeah, here it is.
But
yeah, that stream did take a weird turn, didn't it?
Yeah.
William, if you're gonna do anything on the stream, keep in mind we'll only be live for 15 minutes. We usually do 2 hours here, so if you want to get somebody in, you better get them in quick.
I'm trying. What the fuck? These.
Why are you even
look,
trying?
Look at
What's
this
the
girl.
point?
She's in the live comments right now, or private chat.
Listen, if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. You're here, just enjoy it.
No. I've been begging these bitches. I've been telling these hoes to get the fuck in here for how long, and they don't want to get in here.
Okay, we can have our first case of thirst on this live stream in a long time. We haven't seen this much thirst.
You have
since
no
the anime
clue.
launch.
See, we understood the reference.
Dude, I wanna grant you this favor.
Yeah.
but
I'll
whoever,
just go live in Discord.
yeah, whoever wants to show up, I repeat, they have to at least have a mic on.
I've been given the link to my Discord, and they've been joining, but like there's no one's popping up, so they're lying.
Yeah, they're gonna chat, and I bet my ass just from the name that they're guys and they're catfishing. Like it can't be more obvious. Like
It's okay, William. It happens to the best of us.
If you want to chat,
Fuck off.
Look,
I'm not
if you
the
want to
best of
quench your
us.
thirst,
I'm the
if you want to
worst of
chat, we have a Discord server. It's called the Soul Grinder. We can link it after the stream. We chill. We play Minecraft. Some people are gamers. Some people are political fucking speakers. We can just chill
Some
there.
people are French.
Yes,
but it's rare for people to be thirsty. So just keep that in mind, guys.
we can add a thirsty segment if we want.
We are
could,
we
but
are righteous.
I
men.
won't.
We are righteous.
Also,
There are
a
plenty of
recommendation.
these stores over there. By the way, I will keep kicking them as long as they don't show a mic. I'll keep mentioning that.
Yeah,
The-
add a role for thirsty people. I think that's a good recommendation now.
You can put it in the suggestions, and the relevant channels will take a look at them. I will be full professional.
No,
on
no,
this.
no, no. They think they think Hassan. No, they think Hassan and Shirley and Pax are ugly.
Good.
Hang on.
I don't know.
Jackie, wait, quiet. Please, I'm trying to talk right now.
Oh, dude, I'm having
Harry,
I'm enjoying the psychology of this. I don't know about you guys.
View?
Listen, man,
Oh,
these Western women. I don't
They're
know.
not Western. Well, yeah, they are Western, to be honest.
Oh, no, it's like we're having a live Tinder session. That's what it's looking like.
Yeah, exactly.
I really like the
Hey, they're
Philly
on
cheesesteak
Discord right now.
sandwich.
They don't
I
want
think
to. They don't
it's
want to
one of
get
the best
the
sandwiches.
show.
Whether you like provolone or cheese whiz, it really depends on you. I'm more of a hard cheese type of guy.
It depends on the type of
Onions,
croissant, to be
yes.
honest.
I mean, do you like
Depends on the-
peppers though?
The best is the best kind of cheese. Like my favorite cheese is Parmigiano Reggiano, of course.
Oh, of course, Marcello. The pasta
Dude, as much as I hate on the French, they make good cheese, so I can't say anything.
No,
So I'm gonna have to go French here.
French cheese.
What
Okay.
about
you
what about
like the brie?
Come on.
I like the brie.
listen, man.
I live for ricotta.
Mozzarella is all that matters. Mozzarella. cheese.
Mozzarella is good as a compliment, not as actual cheese. If you're gonna use it as the main
I agree with
ingredient,
that.
The
Yeah,
main
can't
ingredient
choose.
will always be
Ass.
kashkawan. Don't at me.
Look, as much
The
as I
Persian
want to
boy got it.
as much as I want to talk about cheese, the best cheese is smoked spicy cheese, and I developed lactose intolerance from consuming a lot of fucking cheese, and I'm pretty sad about it.
How do you develop lactose intolerance? How do you make your body be like, no?
Well,
Everyone-
actually,
Everyone's
they're,
in-
they're finding that everyone is lactose intolerant. It's just varying degrees of it, because no one is supposed to be consuming milk after they're done breastfeeding.
Yeah, but now it's just like it's at the top. Like if I consumed if I consumed any kind of product that has lactose, I'm just dead.
Like it hurts you, or you just fart a bunch.
No, it hurts. Like and my mom, she had a lot of fucking problems with her bowels, and she discovered that she is gluten and lactose intolerant, and now I'm developing that shit, and it's fucking hurtful. Like I can't eat pizza anymore.
Oh man, wait, no, you can get like those. Don't they have like pills you can take with dairy, like so you can enjoy la malabarare?
No, I'm just gonna live off iced coffee and like lactose free milk.
Dude, as long as you still can eat steak, you can't be depressed.
Oh
Alright?
yes.
Oh man,
All right.
nice. I need to find a good steakhouse in my area, man. Applebee's and Chili's aren't cutting it.
Yeah,
Look-
you don't go eat there. Oh, dude,
I can make you the perfect steak. Just let me get the sous vide fucking machine. It's on the way.
Still
dude,
remember the day he
right
made
now-
kushari.
right now I'm going on like a diet program, so I can't actually cook my own food. But once that's done with, I'm gonna full on Gordon Ramsay my steaks at home. I've already was setting it up, but right now I'm going on this diet program, so I can't do anything. But eventually, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna pan sear my steaks like a fucking gentleman, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Reverse sear them, and you're gonna live like a fucking king.
Yeah,
The grill, man. The grill's for The grill is for pans. You got to get the cast iron out.
The fucking PUBG
cast iron,
fan.
yeah, dude. If that wasn't so difficult or so annoying to maintain, I would get it. But
You got to season it. Got to season
Yeah.
the cast iron with oil.
Yep, it's just annoying to maintain. I wouldn't do that to myself. I want cooking to be enjoyable. I don't want to have to make it a fucking career.
I hate how in my city we don't have any one of those, like, how in the US, especially in the Italian American cultures, they have these delis, old restaurants from like 80
Cold cup
years ago,
meat and
and all the
Bodegas.
locals go there. We don't have anything like that. We don't have those hidden gems. It's all just
guys,
capitalist bullshit in subways.
Guys, can we just appreciate like William's thirst eyes just looking at the screen? Just
I feel like I need to help.
Bro, I'm so fucking drunk. I finished my whole ass cup of liquor. And
yeah, you look.
I'm trying so hard to get content for your
White
stream.
man's burden.
No, don't worry. We got plenty of content. Just enjoy yourself. This is an enjoy yourself stream.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. All right. What did you want to appreciate though? My eyes?
No, just you remind me of the old times where we like me and my cousins would go up to like these random people sites, and we'd actually like catfish.
I got
and
you.
just
Like
have a good time.
Yeah.
You had that face, that. Is this happening? Like that. You had that face going on for a few seconds.
Yeah. No, that definitely does happen. Fuck yeah. But I've been so out of it now. Like you
look out of it
so much tonight.
I guess that's how you're passing through the fucking like.
I'm streaming in my Discord right now. They don't want to join.
Of course they don't. Look at us.
Yeah, no. They're talking about like two fat boys and then two fat boys and then a guy who can't, like, nobody can see, and then Yasha, who's not even here.
I respect that man's aesthetics. I want that.
So, yeah, no, like,
dude,
I'm really asking. Like, I'm telling them, you're right, Ali. I got that.
Yes.
That face. Oh yeah, no.
Here's the thing: as a pro tip, you never can get gals into a full guy stream. It's very difficult, especially a full guy stream with people who don't thirsty.
Don't count me out, buddy.
Okay, you have 9 minutes. Let's see. Can you make it?
Yeah, it's a sausage party. It's a sausage party.
Challenge accepted.
Change anything about it.
No, it's simple psychology, man. They would it's very simple. They would rather stay hidden and comment. That's generally how they do it. They anonymity is powerful. So even if they jump in, they're not going to reveal themselves because anonymity is powerful, and it's a tool, and it's working. And our buddy here, I don't know what to do.
Also,
I think,
today is Saturday.
for,
Saturday is for the boys.
For health and safety reasons,
know
we should
about
start
that,
giving
to
our
be
final
honest.
remarks.
I don't know.
BossMan,
Do you
should
really
consider
think
that.
girls would rather stay hidden and comment rather than be on appearing?
Of course.
Of course.
Again,
I don't know about that.
Generally, unless they're streaming in a fully controlled environment, like a Twitch stream, where
Like an OnlyFans.
yeah, but jumping in on a stream that's live on YouTube with a
It's
bunch
not
of guys,
OnlyFans.
it's very difficult for them to do that. Not
You can't
because the
just let
guys
that
will
die.
thirst on them, but exactly because they won't. Again, we're having
And
a
then-
conversation, and the
And then,
conversation is
they'll have self-esteem issues because they aren't getting the attention, but they'll get mad if they do get the attention. They can't win.
exactly. So again, it's a lose-lose for them, which is why they won't do it. It's very simple. It's simple psychology. I've studied this. I've studied this all my life. But yeah, it's mostly this, right? Cheeses. I enjoy French cheese because cheese for me it fully complements the bread. And what you do is you get dried mint and some za'atar. And for you guys know what za'atar is.
Zatar zit.
And you pair it all over, and then you put like snippets of olive oil on it and get some just very good bread. It works on a salad. It works with bread. It's just it's the perfect filler for any sort of carb-based food that you want to add to it, whether it be
perfect
potato chips or
after
bread
salt.
or anything.
If I
If you're
could
going
replace
healthy, let's
anything with
wrap it.
salt, look, if I can replace salt with anything, it would be cheese. It's the perfect complement for every food.
Oh, dude,
Cheese and
just
wine.
now I feel
My
like
grandma used to say, "If you put cheese on my shoe, it will taste nice." So
yes,
I guess
pretty much, right? Oh, dude, right now I'm craving for like chicken wings with blue cheese. Now that's my mood right now.
God bless.
Chicken
I bought
wing.
chicken wings yesterday just
Chicken
for that.
wing. I need listen.
You're in the
Oh
same
man, they
mood
shut
as me.
down. They shut down
Uh,
Buffalo Wild Wings in my area, man.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm sad to hear that. I'm legitimately sad to hear that.
I was
If-
gonna DoorDash chicken wings.
Wait.
That is an F moment indeed.
But yeah, we are 5 minutes to ending the stream. So, any closing remarks, everybody?
I tried so hard to get
And
some
got so
people to join our stream.
And,
Next time, I swear to
but
goodness.
at the end,
Don't just
it doesn't
work in your own
even
game. Just
matter.
work in your own game.
Discord channel. If
Yeah,
they
if
want
People
to,
show what they do. If they don't, they don't.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, I'm gonna plug in the comments to our Discord.
We
as
work with what
usual.
we got.
Bruh, man, the way you guys are talking, it seems like I'm simping so hard.
Yes, you are.
I'm
Yes,
not.
sorry
I'm
to tell
not.
you that.
I'm
I-
not
I owe you.
simping.
I want to thank Justin Trudeau for being
Fuck,
himself.
guys.
I also want to
You
thank
don't have to be
A-RAB
ashamed.
Money.
If you're drunk, it's fine. It's fine. We're not
No,
gonna do
no,
it.
stop it. No. Fuck. All right, I'll be back next time. I'll redeem myself for not being a simp. Okay.
All right, sure.
No worries.
You can join in the
All right.
Discord, and you can. Don't worry, no simps there. We'll get you
Yeah,
out of the
yeah.
habit pretty quick.
Put your Discord link in the chat.
Sure. Here you go. Salt Grinder. It's pretty chill over there. You can go ahead and join in and have a good time.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So yeah, A-RAB Money. Closing remarks.
Not really any. I'm grateful that we got the Friday stream back. It's good to be able to have something for the Western Hemisphere. I'm not able. I'll try to catch. I'll watch the clips of the Tuesday, Wednesday streams when I can to see what's going on. But it's nice to be able to be a part of something that works better for my time zone again.
It's nice to have you. Don't worry about that. Well,
Yeah.
I'll try to do these more often, but
And
don't expect
I
too
can
much. Maybe once a month.
I can manage them too if you want. It's
Yeah, no,
something.
I
It's
definitely agree with adding having random people join the streams. There's so much content to be had.
We can
I
make
mean,
a schedule.
sure,
of it.
we can make exceptions to the 4 people per stream rule, but it is something where if you have 5-6 people and it is starting to get out of control, then we do bring it down a little bit.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
so
I got you.
focus better.
Sure. We'll look into that after the stream. Harry Babushka, closing
Yeah,
remarks.
no worries.
Shout out to Louis for not existing anymore. And shout out to my vitamin D deficiency because I'm staying home for a longest time. I'm having blue lights just to fucking UV.
Louis is still lost in the woods.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think I don't think he's been found. William, closing remarks.
Closing remarks. Hang on, let me mute Discord real quick. So
I can't.
I honestly, definitely really like this stream. I'm glad that I joined. It was a lot of fun. I diverted my attention a little bit too much towards getting new people to join, but it was definitely a lot of interest. We had a lot of cool topics to discuss. So if I ever get another invite, I'll definitely be back.
Well, here's the thing. On the Discord, we join into the voice chat pretty often, and you have a ton of people that aren't us, and you can have a great conversation with them. So even if we don't end up doing this in the Discord, you can have a lot of good time there as well.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm definitely joining.
There's a
Yep.
culture group chat as well if you want to. Well, we can talk about that after the stream.
I don't have
Yeah, no
Facebook,
worries.
so it's not gonna work for me. But I
was
did send the
actually
link
gonna
into
ask you,
the
Trillium Packs, well, like, what do you actually go by?
I go by Trillium Packs on the interwebs, but my
like on
Just
everything.
Trillium.
yeah, on everything. You can call me Trillium.
Okay.
That's how everybody does. Yep. Yasha, closing remarks.
Cheddar is very respectable, but provolone is by far the best melting cheese.
Listen,
And
listen,
usually
provolone,
blue cheese
listen,
goes really
provolone,
well with any meat.
provolone on a Philly steak, on a Philly
You
cheese
put the
steak.
habanero in it, give it the spice.
Oh,
That's very nice. You got that.
yeah, you gotta get the Philly steak with the forget about it.
All right. Now, thank you everybody who showed up. We do have 0 viewers, which was expected.
Fuck it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next one, hopefully on Tuesday. See you guys.
Hola.
Bye. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye bye.